Well, I read this and I thought, well, it's best to have a say something about this. European Commission says Jews today are again living in fear. Okay. The European Commission has condemned the recent surge in anti-Semitic incidents across Europe, stating that it is reminiscent of some of the darkest times in history. They vehemently denounced these acts and emphasized that they go against everything Europe stands for. Right, let's just unpack that. Back in the days, right, where I believe that Jews have been forced out of 100 and some odd countries in the past. Now, the reasons why that happened, you'd have to ask them, okay? I don't know. I wasn't there. But one thing I do know is that in the lead up to the Second World War, Jews were feeling more and more threatened in Europe and decided they want to make their way to the Middle East, to somewhere they thought was going to be safer. Many of them stayed, and during the march of the Nazis, 39 to 45, and actually prior to that, they didn't really particularly like the Jews, you could say, in the most extreme sense of the word. However, back in the day, they were generally Nazis, all right. Although, funnily enough, you can actually say that I believe there was a Muslim, I can't remember the name of the person who met with Hitler as to how to make a camp over there and also how to exterminate Jews over in the Middle East. So it wasn't just to Europe. However, you would predominantly say that the people who were very anti-Jews in the old days were of the Axis forces and also white. Now, you'll probably find that predominantly there are a few categories of people that are hating upon the Jews at the moment. Islam. We know that Islam doesn't particularly like the Jews. In fact, it doesn't like them at all. And the fact that many people from the Jewish faith in positions of power have encouraged, maybe even demanded, okay, that Islam march all the way across Europe and infest it, and that we had to take these people into our countries because of reasons. And the European Union has been fully on board with this, and the World Economic Forum and all the other people that have decided for the demise of the West. They've been great. They've been happy about this. But did you not think that by importing these people who fucking despise you for their own reasons that I don't understand, it might have a bit of a knock-on effect? And to say the rise of anti-Semitism, because let's be honest, because of the Holocaust, right, Jews have said that they are a threatened minority and they need special rights to protect themselves, okay? And whenever you question them now, whenever they do anything wrong, if you question them, you will be called an anti-Semite, okay? That's how it's been for years, until now. And now it seems like half the world's turning on them at the moment. But there is a knock-on effect to this. You've just topped up on the victim status. They all hate us again. We're a threatened minority. We need to be protected, and that's what we'll get. Now, something that should be mentioned is that when you go to Israel, there are Jews that don't like other Jews. I don't get it, right? And there are Jews around the world which don't actually look out for certain types of other Jews. For that, I don't get. I mean, I always thought they were all one and the same, but clearly they're very much not, and that was my ignorance. But there it is, the European Commission. By the way, I've got a light right in my face, and now I can't read the thing. Is urging action against both anti-Semitism and the rise of anti-Muslim hatred. Okay. So either side, which don't particularly like the other side, you got to have a word with both sides now. You're going to be like a referee at this point. Hatred, which have seen an alarming increase, and I seriously, there's a green dot at the moment because of that light there, in recent weeks. The emphasis that both forms of hatred have no place in Europe. You know what? You created the perfect fucking cauldron for this to kick off at, okay? At the end of the day, what's going on over in the Middle East was always going to spill over onto all through our countries. And you've got people that back Israel, you've got people that back Palestine, and these are people that are more extreme, okay, than the average Brit, the average French person, the average Spaniard, or the average German. And these people are going to come out of the woodwork and they're going to march. And then when they meet each other, it's not going to go well. Now, I've seen a lot of Israeli flags and people have painted swastikas on it. And these people are Arab-based or they're Muslims. And I'm still trying to work out just exactly what it is that they're just basically trying to hate that badly on the Jews. Now, while I'm no great fan of Israel's leadership and some of the things that Israel does, like what they've done to other people who weren't Jewish or Israeli over there, and even some people that claim to be Jewish but were of a different color, I don't like what they've done there. There's been other things that they've done that I don't like. And they get away with it because the moment you even say anything, they just call you an anti-Semite, which, to be honest, at the moment is boring and it isn't washing anymore. But on the other flip side of the coin, there are people from the other side that want to do them serious fucking harm. I'm no pacifist, but this won't end well. And everybody will be dragged into it. And I'm no great fan of Islam either. And it seems that both sides, right, have a lot of innocent people, by the way, in the middle of this, which I feel very, very sorry for. But while, like this that they're bringing out that anti-Semitism's on the rise, well, of course it will be. You've brought Islam, who fucking hates Jewish people. You brought them in, not all of them, by the way. Okay, but you have brought en masse the sort of people that the Muslims over here that came over here with the first and second generation said, we escaped these countries to get away from these low-grade Muslims you're bringing in here, right? That aren't the same as us. They won't assimilate. They are more predominantly to be hoodwinked by the extremists and used. These are the criminals. These are the lower forms of the society that we left. You're bringing them in. Well, if they are these people that these Muslims have described these other Muslims as, they are going to hate upon Jews. You have created the perfect fucking storm. And now you got to weather it. And that anybody, right, who is non-Jewish or non-Muslim, predominantly white from these countries, even criticizes or says anything, you're going to come down on a ton of bricks. Because rather than approach the problem, you'll go for the secondary problem, which is the people who are calling out your fucking stupidity for having these people en masse in the old country. Now, what are they? 6.7% in my country, which is a ridiculous amount of Muslims, right? Being as we're a Christian country. But I would imagine that the numbers are significantly higher throughout Europe where they were able to walk from point A to point B. Luckily, they haven't developed Jesus' skills yet and haven't managed to walk on fucking water. Otherwise, we'd be in a whole pile of shit now, wouldn't we? Nevertheless, this is what it is. And this is the way it's going to be. Which is why you're seeing countries like, I think it's Sweden, starting to get a bit lively. And I think Germany will do the same. And many others. Because at the end of the day, it's not just the right wing that are saying this now. Even the left. Even the left is shit scared of what's coming, right? And they should be. But still, this European project, which failed when we left, all right, and they're still trying to hold it together, will still follow the same shit dogma, the same bullshit, push the same lies. Nobody's buying this shit anymore. Everybody can see for themselves that you are a corrupt, bent organization who's going to try and to ruin Europe. And when you ruin every country within Europe, then you've got to come out with this. What we need is all your sovereignty to be taken inside by us. We'll have one army and we'll purge out these people that have made these countries bad. Well, you were the ones that brought them in here. And this is nothing else but a blueprint for a one world government, right? And it starts there. And then we fucked that up, which is why we're being punished. But thank God we did. Because if we'd have stayed in the European Union, we'd have lost our sovereignty already by now. We'd have had a one world or a European army, which incidentally would have come into whatever country, taking soldiers from a different part of Europe, which have no sympathy with the Brits or with the Germans or with the French, depending on where this riot went off, and they go in there and crack skulls. Whereas the people from that country, if it was their own army doing it, would be less likely to. They take more sympathy. A bit like when there's all that lot going off over in France and the army came, well, the police came out and they couldn't fight their own. They took the helmets off because they knew what they were saying was right. Anyway, luckily that part of it failed. And I hope the rest of it fails. But these are the people that have literally made this happen. And now it's happening. They're saying that, oh, this is a terrible thing. What did you expect? You deserve, right? You deserve to be literally hauled out of your positions and taken through a court and had up for crimes against your own people. You are shit. Anyway, I'm going to have my tea now because I was cooking it before this came along. I hope you're all doing well and I'll see you in a bit.